morning, everyone. Thanks for inviting me here, and thank you to those who organize this coalition. It's an absolutely critical alliance that's been formed so that we can realize the full potential of the Spaceport America, which so many people have worked on for a couple of decades or more. I want to state, as I've stated many, many times with some degree of confidence, that New Mexico, our state, is the best place in our country, perhaps the entire world, for which the aviation and aerospace industry to thrive. We have assets, both natural and man-made, that are absolutely incomparable anywhere else. The thing we need to do now to catch up to those assets is to pass this informed consent law that's so badly needed. And on behalf of Governor Martinez, I can tell you that if an informed consent law passes and gets on her desk, she will sign it into law. And it's very, very critical to see that this asset realize its full jobs potential. We have good news in New Mexico. Yes, we've had some jobs losses, and we know that these jobs losses, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City and the University of New Mexico, because of the federal jobs losses that are going to hit New Mexico disproportionately hard. We know that. But we can prepare for that if we pass this law. We have a workforce that can fill these jobs. We have a manufacturing base that actually is showing some growth in New Mexico, and this will continue that momentum and growth if we pass this law. I'm also happy to point out that we concluded on October 2nd a New Century Jobs Summit, which was a culmination of about a year's worth of work by many of you in this room, and many of you in this room were in that summit. And many ideas were put forth about what we will do here in New Mexico in a bipartisan, nonpartisan manner to move New Mexico's economy forward. Senator George Munoz and I crossed partisan lines this Sunday in the Albuquerque Journal and wrote an op-ed about the necessity to come together as a state to start filling these jobs potentials. And there is 7 points in this New Century Jobs agenda that is what we call the People's Agenda. And one of those 7 points, of course, is the informed consent legislation, which we will be pushing in a bipartisan, nonpartisan manner. It's absolutely critical to this state, and we want to thank Representative White and Senator Papin for taking the lead in the legislature, again, in a bipartisan manner to get this done. Last thing I want to say is that in the end, it's not about taking credit for passing legislation, but it is about leadership. I appreciate the leadership that's been put forth today by this coalition. We look forward to working with you during the legislative session. It represents a wide cross-section of every corner of this state, from Raton to Las Cruces, and I know places from Hobbs to Farmington can benefit from this passage of this legislation. It's absolutely vital. It's absolutely critical to keep New Mexico in the aviation, aerospace, and to make sure that the spaceport is ours. Look, this isn't complex, and no pun intended, it's not rocket science. We really just need to get this passed, and let's do it this session. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.